Hi everyone, here's more on the educational observation and reflection paper requirements for the course this semester. The educational observation and reflection paper is one of the big assignments for the course, actually the biggest assignment for the course. It's going to be 35% of your grade this semester, and you cannot pass the course without completing this requirement. You're going to need to do 10 hours of educational observation. Your 8 to 12 page reflection paper is due in week 11 on April 13th. You're going to want to start now or as soon as possible to getting this observation and reflection paper going. So what is this educational observation all about? The purpose of this project is for you to observe or participate in an education setting from the perspective of an educator. So you must be observing in an environment where teaching and learning can be witnessed and reflected upon. 10 observation hours are required. Your setting could be a pre-K-12, early childhood education, could be higher ed. You could be shadowing a school counselor or school psychologist or a related service professional. Depends on your interests. As a future educator or service provider. Contact me if you have any questions about the applicability of a site or experience. Again, you're going to spend 10 hours. The 10 hours are required to be spent on your observation. There is an observation form that you're going to be taking with you to your site. The form must be signed off on by the educator you are working with each time you do an observation. You're going to need to plan to spend a few days there. If you observe a 40-minute period, then it's considered 40 minutes of your 10 hours. Remember, time between classes and teacher planning periods do not count, so plan accordingly. Here's what this observation form looks like. You'll find it in our Schoology page, and you can print this and take this with you when you do your observations. You're going to actually collect these while you're doing your observations, and you're going to be required to submit them with your paper in week 11. So with your observations, you are encouraged to split your observations if possible. 5 hours at one location and 5 hours at a different location. Maybe checking out middle versus high school, city versus suburban or rural, a toddler versus preschool. This will give you some greater material to draw on in your reflection and some compare and contrast, trying out different environments, seeing what different classrooms are like. It can be very helpful to do your observations at a school where you are not a student or you're not currently a student. Seeing what things might be different in a different environment. If you elect to observe at a school or environment that is not on campus, you are responsible for transportation to and from the site. So it's a good time to take a few minutes, think about it. Do you have a school or a teacher in mind? If not, there are several options that are on or near both North and South Campus. Particular transportation is an issue. Sweet Home School District is near North Campus, just a few minutes off the North Campus. Bennett High School is near the South Campus. Buffalo Prep is actually on South Campus. And the Early Childhood Resource Center is on North Campus in the basement of Baldy Hall. Okay, so take some time to review the project requirements in the full and the syllabus, but you're going to want to start making contact with schools immediately. It's ideal for you to conduct your observations during the first half of the semester. Your paper is going to be due the week of week 11, which is April 13th. You really don't want to leave your observations until week 11. Getting them done before spring break is ideal. So part of the project is you actually setting up your visitation site. You're going to be calling schools. Think about what type of school you want to visit. Do some research, find some contact numbers. When you call the school, you're going to most likely be connected to the secretary, unless you already have a personal connection with a teacher that you can arrange a visit with. When you call the school, you'll be connected to the secretary. Explain the LAI 350 class that you're in, what you're looking to become certified in, and ask to be connected with a teacher in the area that you're interested in who might be receptive to having you observe the class. You can leave a message through the secretary and ask for an email address for the teacher so you can introduce yourself and make the request directly to the teacher. Keep in mind, they may say no. Please try not to take that personally. Some people don't want to have someone come in. Might be during a test week that you're asking for, or an activity that just isn't conducive to observations. If they do say no, just move on and try a different school. If they're asking for more information about your project, there is a letter available through Schoology in our Schoology room that provides an assignment overview, and it's from our lead instructor here at the University of Buffalo. So there's a formal letter that you can use with your school or teacher request if required. So that is a little bit more on the educational observation and reflection paper. Again, I suggest that you review the syllabus as soon as possible. Really get familiar with these requirements and then start setting up and doing your observations. We'll talk about what to look for while you're doing your observations and what should be included in the reflection paper in a future video. Okay, have a great week.